Libra. You always feel the shift before anyone else names it, like a quiet change in the air that brushes past your skin before it reaches the world. There's something in this moment that rests differently in your chest, a subtle tilt, as if the balance you've been holding with such care is beginning to lean in a new direction. It's the last day of March, and time carries a softness that almost disguises its weight. The light feels suspended, like the pause between inhale and exhale, where everything waits without announcing what comes next. You might notice it in small ways, the way your thoughts linger a little longer, the way a single choice feels heavier than it should, as if it holds more than just the present inside it. Somewhere within you, a quiet awareness begins to take shape. Not loud, not urgent, just present, like a ripple forming beneath still water. You sense that you're standing at a crossing, even if the paths ahead don't fully reveal themselves yet. One feels familiar, smooth, easy to continue. The other carries a kind of aliveness, something that asks you to lean in, to listen closer. And maybe what makes this moment different is how clearly you can feel the weight of time moving through it. Not rushing you, not pushing you, just continuing. As if this single point holds a thread that stretches far beyond what you can see, weaving into seasons and years you haven't lived yet. There's a question forming here, gently, almost like it's waiting for you to notice it rather than answer it. You feel it in your body before your mind can shape it into words. That quiet pull, that slight tension, that sense that something is ready to be chosen. If this moment feels real to you, comment 777 to mark this turning point. Because what's unfolding here isn't loud or dramatic, it's precise. And just beneath the surface of this stillness, there's a deeper movement beginning to reveal what this choice is truly asking of you. There's something about the last day of March that feels almost suspended, like time has slowed just enough for you to notice what usually moves past you unnoticed. You go through your usual rhythm, yet everything carries a slight echo, as if each moment is asking to be felt more fully before it passes. You might catch it in the smallest details, the way a conversation lingers in your mind longer than it should, the way a decision you once set aside quietly returns, standing closer now, waiting without urgency, yet holding weight. It's subtle, but it's there. A quiet shift that doesn't need to announce itself to be real. From a distance, everything still looks balanced. The same routines, the same connections, the same structure you've carefully maintained. But when you look a little closer, you begin to sense it. One side of the scale feels just slightly heavier, almost imperceptible, yet enough to change the way everything rests. And it isn't sudden. It's been building gently over time. Each small compromise, each delayed decision, each moment of choosing ease over clarity. They've added up in ways that only become visible now, at this exact point of transition. Libra, you feel it not as pressure, but as a quiet internal tilt, like something inside you is asking to be rebalanced. There's a sensitivity in this moment that sharpens your awareness. You notice what drains you faster. You notice what feels alive versus what feels simply maintained. It's not dramatic, it's precise. The kind of knowing that doesn't argue, doesn't rush, just stays present until you acknowledge it. And here's where something important begins to emerge. Balance, the kind you've always valued, starts to reveal a deeper truth. It isn't something you preserve by holding everything in place. It moves, it shifts, it responds to what you choose to carry forward and what you allow to fall away. So as this final day stretches gently toward its close, you may start to realize that what feels like stability has been quietly adjusting itself around your hesitation. And now, the moment arrives where that adjustment asks for something clearer from you, something more defined. Because just ahead, without raising its voice, there are two distinct currents beginning to form. and the difference between them is something you can feel before you ever try to explain it. You can almost see it now, the split forming in front of you, not as something dramatic, not as a loud crossroads, but as two quiet currents moving in different directions. They don't demand your attention, yet your awareness keeps returning to them again and again, as if something within you already recognizes their difference. One path feels familiar in the way a well-worn room does. The air is steady, the rhythm predictable, everything placed where you expect it to be. You know how to move here without thinking, how to maintain it, how to keep it smooth. There's a certain ease in that, a softness that asks very little from you beyond what you've already been giving. Then there's the other current. It doesn't look chaotic, yet it carries movement. You feel it more than you understand it, like a subtle pull forward, like something alive brushing against your senses. It asks for your presence, your attention, your willingness to step into a rhythm that hasn't fully revealed itself yet. You stand between them, not frozen, just aware, watching, weighing, feeling how each one lands in your body before your mind tries to organize it into reasons. Libra, this is where your sensitivity becomes your compass, where the difference between these two paths speaks in energy rather than logic. Stay with it for a moment. The familiar path settles quickly in your chest, almost too easily, like it closes around you without resistance. The other one feels different. A slight expansion, a hint of tension, a quiet sense of something opening, even as it asks more from you. And that's where the distinction sharpens. One holds you in a steady rhythm that continues as it has. The other introduces movement, a kind of aliveness that shifts your pace, your focus, your direction. Neither one announces itself as right or wrong, yet your body registers the contrast with surprising clarity. It becomes less about what each path promises and more about what each one activates within you. One sustains what already exists. The other invites something new to emerge, something that hasn't had space to fully breathe yet. As you linger in this space between, you may begin to notice that the pause itself carries its own weight. And the longer you remain here, the more that weight starts to shape the balance you thought you were simply observing, leading you gently toward a deeper question about what this hesitation is truly holding in place. You tell yourself you're taking your time, that you're giving each side the space it deserves, that clarity forms best when everything is fully considered. And in many ways, that's true. Your ability to see multiple angles, to feel into different perspectives, has always been one of your quiet strengths. But stay with this a little longer. Watch what happens inside you when the moment to decide comes closer. There's a subtle shift, not in the situation, but in your energy. The weighing continues, yet something underneath it begins to stretch, like a pause that extends just a little too far. At first it feels thoughtful, intentional, measured. You move between options, adjusting, refining, sensing how each one might affect the whole. But then, almost without noticing when it happens, the movement slows, and then slows again, until it becomes still in a way that feels different. This is where something deeper begins to reveal itself, because what once felt like balance starts to carry a different texture. It feels heavier, more loaded, as if you're holding multiple possibilities in place at the same time, trying to keep everything even, everything undisturbed. And in that effort, your energy spreads thin, stretched across outcomes that haven't been chosen. You might notice how your mind circles the same thoughts, returning to the same questions, refining the same possibilities with increasing precision. Yet the answer you're waiting for doesn't arrive in the way you expect. Instead, there's a quiet awareness forming beneath the surface, a recognition that the delay itself is shaping the experience. Libra, this is the delicate line you walk so naturally, the space between honoring harmony and holding yourself in suspension. And as you stand here, something becomes clearer. Balance, the kind that feels alive and steady, asks for a center point. It asks for a decision that allows everything else to organize around it. Without that center, the scales don't rest. They hover, constantly adjusting, constantly recalibrating, never fully settling into place. And as this realization settles into your body, you may begin to feel that what appeared as careful consideration has quietly been guiding your direction all along, setting into motion something that extends far beyond this single moment, leading directly into a pattern that unfolds over time in ways you're only beginning to sense. Think of it like this: a single moment, a single choice. It seems contained, almost small enough to hold in your hand. You look at it, turn it slightly, weigh its edges, and it feels manageable, something that belongs only to now. But then something shifts in how you see it. That choice doesn't stay where it begins. It moves. It travels forward, quietly at first, then with structure. One decision becomes a direction, and that direction begins to build patterns, and those patterns start shaping the architecture of your days in ways that feel almost invisible while they're forming. Now stretch your awareness a little further. A year passes, then another. The same direction continues, not dramatically, just consistently. What you chose once begins to echo in how you handle money, in the opportunities you allow yourself to step into, in the kinds of exchanges you accept in your relationships. It's all connected, even when it doesn't look like it at the surface. This is how a cycle forms. 12 years sounds distant, almost abstract, yet it's simply a series of moments like this one, linked together by the same initial movement. Each step reinforcing the last, each decision layering on top of the previous one until something solid takes shape. A life structure that feels stable because it has been repeated long enough to become familiar. Pause here. Feel the weight of that. Not heavy in a way that overwhelms you, but in a way that deepens your awareness. Because suddenly, this moment expands. It stretches beyond today, beyond this week, reaching into a version of your life that hasn't fully formed yet, but is already beginning to organize itself around what you choose now. Libra, this is where everything becomes clearer in a different way. The choice in front of you isn't just about preference or comfort. It carries a ripple, one that touches your sense of value, your sense of exchange, the way you meet others and the way you meet yourself. And once you see it like this, something inside you starts to recalibrate. Your attention sharpens, your awareness widens, and the question shifts from what feels easiest right now to something much more precise, something that begins to reveal itself through the mirrors around you. It shows up in the way someone looks at you when you agree too quickly, in the pause that lingers after you say yes, even when something inside you asked for more time, in the small shifts within your connections that feel almost invisible on the surface, yet land clearly somewhere deeper. You begin to notice a pattern, the same types of conversations, the same roles you step into without thinking, the same subtle exchange where your energy moves outward, adjusting, smoothing, balancing, while something within you waits quietly for its turn to be acknowledged. It's not loud, it's consistent, and the more you watch, the more precise it becomes. Certain interactions leave you feeling expanded, present, connected in a way that feels real. Others leave a trace, a slight depletion, a sense that you shaped yourself around the moment instead of standing fully within it. The difference is subtle, yet unmistakable once you allow yourself to feel it without filtering. This is where the reflection sharpens, because every connection in your life begins to mirror something back to you. The way you say yes, the way you hold space, the way you allow, the way you adjust, the way you choose. It's all there, reflected in real time, not as judgment, but as information. And something within you starts to respond. Not dramatically, not all at once, but in small internal shifts. A pause before answering. A breath where there used to be immediacy. A growing awareness of where your center is. And when you begin to move away from it, Libra, this is where your sensitivity turns inward, becoming a tool for truth rather than just harmony. Because harmony begins to reveal a deeper layer. It's no longer about everything feeling smooth on the outside. It becomes about something aligning on the inside, where your choices, your words, your presence all move from the same place, where your energy holds its shape even while connecting with others. And as this awareness settles, something else starts to become clear. The decisions you're making now aren't just shaping your path. They're quietly redefining the way you meet every person, every dynamic, every reflection that enters your life. Which brings you closer to something even more immediate, something that doesn't come from thought or reflection at all, but from a place within you that responds instantly, before anything else has time to speak. Pause for a second, just here, in this moment, before another thought forms. Bring your attention down into your body. Feel your chest, your breath, the way your shoulders are resting or holding. There's a kind of language here that moves faster than your mind, more precise than any list of pros and cons you've been turning over. You've been thinking through this carefully, weighing every angle, adjusting every possibility, trying to arrive at something that feels complete. And yet, something even clearer has been speaking the entire time, just beneath the surface of all that movement. Notice what happens when you bring one of your choices into your awareness. Not the story around it, not the explanation, just the feeling of it. There's a response, immediate, direct, a subtle expansion, like your breath deepens without effort, or a tightening, a slight contraction that gathers quietly in your chest or your stomach. It's quick, almost easy to miss if you move too fast. This is where clarity lives, not in the endless refinement of thought, but in the body's instant recognition. The way something feels light when it aligns, even if it asks more from you. The way something feels dense, contained, when it asks you to remain where you are. Libra, this is a different kind of balance. One that doesn't come from holding everything equally, but from sensing where your energy naturally opens and where it begins to close. Stay with that for a moment longer. You don't need to force an answer. You don't need to rush toward a conclusion. Just feel. Let your awareness rest in your body long enough for the signal to become clear, long enough for the noise to soften around it. Because once you recognize this sensation, it becomes unmistakable. It doesn't argue, it doesn't explain, it simply shows you. If you feel this shift, comment 888 to align with it. And as that awareness settles more fully into you, something begins to solidify. A quiet readiness, a sense that the moment you've been circling is now asking for something real, something grounded, something chosen with full presence as you step into what comes next. There's a quiet stillness here now, the kind that arrives after everything has been seen clearly, even if nothing around you has visibly changed. The last day of March stretches gently in front of you, holding that soft edge where one cycle exhales and another begins to draw its first breath. You can feel it in the way your awareness has settled. The noise has softened, the layers have thinned, and what remains is something simple, something grounded, a knowing that lives closer to your center than any explanation ever could. This moment belongs to you, not in a way that asks you to rush or prove anything, but in a way that invites you to stand fully inside your own direction. The choice in front of you carries weight, yes, but it also carries clarity. A quiet kind of clarity that doesn't push, doesn't pull, just waits for you to meet it. And maybe that's where everything shifts. Not in a dramatic decision, not in a sudden leap, but in the way you acknowledge what you already feel. The way you allow that inner signal to guide your next step, even if that step is small, even if it simply begins with honesty. Because direction begins there. Libra, something in you has been aligning throughout this entire journey, gently, steadily, like a scale finding its true center after a long period of adjustment. And now you stand at that center point, aware, present, able to move with intention instead of uncertainty. Take a breath here. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel the space in your chest. This is where your timeline responds to you, not through force, but through choice. If you're ready to step into this new phase, mark this moment with intention. Comment, "I choose my aligned path." And if this space we shared resonated with you, you can let that energy continue to move through a quiet like, through sharing it with someone who might be standing at their own threshold, through staying connected to what unfolds next. Because something has already begun, and you're walking into it with awareness now.